Good morning, Hull and Liverpool classes. I hope everybody's feeling well today. In today's science lesson, we're still thinking about materials and we're thinking about recycling. This is something Mrs. Prince wants us to think a little bit more about this week because in her challenge, she wants us to try and make something from something that normally we would throw away. So she wants us to recycle some of our rubbish into something else, perhaps a piece of artwork or something we can use. When we recycle, we put something away so that it can be used again and changed back into the same material to make different things. So metal cans can be recycled. Paper and card can be changed back into to make new paper and card. And so can plastic. That can be recycled in a special factory that we're going to have a little think about in today's lesson. What is recycling? So what does recycling mean? Well, we've already said that's when we can change something, clean it up and process it so that we can use it again. How can you recycle? And we'll find out a little bit about that in this lesson and thinking a little bit more about if you recycle in your home and how do you do that. We'll also have a think about what happens to the materials we recycle and is it important to recycle? Why or why not? Here's some of the things that we can recycle. So paper and cardboard, like newspaper and boxes, they can be recycled. Plastic, such as yogurt pots, milk bottles, plastic bottles, can be recycled. Metal, such as cans, can be recycled, and so can glass, like bottles and jars. Clothes too can also be recycled, jumpers and trousers and other pieces of clothing. And garden waste, like when people cut their grass or if they cut down some bushes or hedges from their garden. And food, scraps, leftovers, like apple cores, the middle of an apple, or potato peelings and carrot peelings and tea bags. All of those things can be recycled in something called a composter. And eventually, it all breaks down to make compost. In different parts of our country, bins are used, or boxes, in a little bit of a different way, but we all want to do the same thing. We all need to recycle as much as we can. So how do you recycle at home? In my home, where I live, I've got a brown bin like this and a green bin like this. And my brown bin is for things that can be recycled. So in my brown bin, I can put paper, card, metal and glass bottles. Also in the brown bin for recycling, we can put plastic items like plastic bottles. I've also got a brown bin for any garden waste. So if the grass gets cut or if any bushes get clipped, then garden waste can go in a different brown bin. Every 2 weeks, a truck comes to take away the recycling. So this lorry here, I'm sure you've all seen it, will open from the back and the bins get loaded and emptied and it's collected and taken to a recycling depot. So things from the brown bin go to a recycling depot. And in the depot, people and machinery are very busy sorting it all. So these people are wearing masks and gloves so they don't get any germs from the rubbish. And they're sorting them, these plastic bottles, it looks like they're sorting them into colours, doesn't it? After they've been sorted, they're sent to a reprocessing factory and they're made into new products. So here you can see the bottles are having a kind of wash. It's like they're in the shower to make them nice and clean. The bottles are then sorted by plastic type. So plastic can be made a little bit differently. There are different types of plastic, and a special light is shone over them called an infrared light. Here's the word, infrared. It's like a very special camera, and it goes over them. And when it's gone over them, it can tell what kind of plastic the bottle is. The bottles are then sorted into the colours, and then the bottles are shredded. So at home here where I am, I've got a shredder that can shred paper, and we've got one at school as well. But this shredder in this factory can shred plastic. So it must be quite strong. You put the bottles in here and out come little tiny bits of chopped up plastic. And those chopped up bits of plastic are then put into another piece of machinery where it's very hot and the plastic melts. So plastic, when we've got a plastic bottle or if it's been chopped up, is still a solid, but some solids can melt when they're heated up, like ice cubes melt, and chocolate can melt, and ice cream melts. Plastic also melts into a liquid when it's hot. And the liquid plastic gets sent along another piece of machinery, and then it kind of gets shredded into little, or made into little pellets. So the plastic must get cooled down very quickly and chopped up. So it's solid again now. You can see those pellets coming out. And then it can be changed into new plastic products. Plastic bottles, carrier bags, maybe plastic fencing. So recycling helps us use less raw materials. So if we recycle plastic, we don't need to use any new oil to make plastic. And also, the places where we bury our rubbish that we don't recycle, well, that's kept a little bit cleaner and not quite as full. And then we make less dangerous gas that's sent into the environment, because all of this rubbish here in this landfill makes a gas. When it's covered up by some earth and buried, it breaks down and some dangerous gases are made. So we don't want to send a lot of our rubbish to landfill. We need to recycle it as much as we can. I hope you enjoyed our lesson on materials, especially thinking about plastic. And remember Mrs. Prince's challenge. What can you make out of things that you would normally recycle? What could you make to use? Or what could you make that's fun? Or maybe a piece of lovely artwork? And we'll look forward to seeing them. Hope everybody's okay. Bye for now.